Hey everybody, it's Brian Hogue. Welcome to Chiller Night Live. We're from 8 p.m. until 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll sit here and talk to you fine, frightened folks about all things horror, sci-fi, and paranormal, and everything that is encapsulated under the Chiller mantle. Bonehead says hello. Hey Bonehead, thanks for joining us. Renee says, and here's your Chiller Night Theater live horror, sci-fi, fantasy TV host, Mr. Know-It-All. Wow, that's something quite to live up to there. The impeccable, illustrious, and intelligent Brian Hogue, Mr. Jack Shadow, Zombie Apocalypse Escape Room Extraordinaire. Wow! I'll lose my breath just reading that intro there, Renee. Well, thank you so much. That's quite a bit to live up to there. Right out the gate too. No pressure on me. Stephanie says, "Hey y'all, hi." Brian Hogue, hey Stephanie, thanks for joining us. Renee says, "Bonehead is number one." Yes, Bonehead got it this week. Bonehead says, "Greetings and salutations to the Chiller Night crew." And Brian, well, thank you, everybody for. Wow, we're strong right out the gate tonight. Renee says, "Sorry, I took way too long to type." It says, "No, that's funny." Roger says, "Good evening, Rogers. Thanks for joining us." All right, what a night! What a night! It is. I don't know how it looks in your neck of the woods, wherever you may be watching, but oh boy, folks, in Northwest Pennsylvania, and obviously here in Jack Shadow's realm, the Dark Domain, it is looking very Octoberish. Very Octoberish. Stephanie says, "Hey, Bones." Bones says, "Well, thanks, Miss Renee Cruz, but I usually think of myself as number two, if you know what I mean." Okay. I'll tell you what, I barely made it back in time. I was working on the haunted house, Jack Shadow's House of Terror, and I just got back, like moments ago. So I'm glad I made it back in time. PBR Street Gang is giving me the waves there. So thanks for joining us tonight. SBC says hello, everyone. Hey, SBC. Al says hi, everyone. Hey, Al. Thanks for joining us. Dan says hello, Brian. Hey, Daniel. Won't be long now, Daniel. Daniel's one of the actors in the Jack Shadow's House of Terror. So yeah, we open at the end of next week. Can you believe that? Whew. Bonehead says, "I wonder how many people I just offended with that number two crack." I don't know. I don't think anybody on here, Bonehead, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody on here is very offendable. Not easily offended anyway, so which is good. All right, so if you're new here, if you're watching this on Saturday night, just to let you know, if you ever want to join us live, that's where the live part of the pre-show comes in. A little deceptive there, a little false advertising if you're watching this on Saturday thinking it's live. It ain't. Used to be for years, but then we switched at the beginning of 2022, I think it was, due to Chiller Night Escape Experience. The escape room kind of kept me busy on Saturday night, so we switched it over, as far as I'm concerned, temporarily to Tuesdays until the dust settles with all that, and we can bring it back to Saturday night, if that's something that you guys would be interested in. So Daniel said, "I'm pumped for next Friday." Ah, me too, Daniel. Me too. I am. Yeah, it is. Coming up. It's a weird time of the year for me when I'm doing a haunted house. It is just there's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of thrill though, there's a lot of excitement, and it's just it is something. It's not just it's not just somebody buying a ticket, walking through, having a few jump scares, and they're on their way. It is even when I was doing the smaller haunts here for the Harrisville borough, which it was a smaller haunt because that's all we had to work with. But I wanted to do a haunt. But it's an event. It's quite an event. You know, anything that anytime you're holding an event, an attraction for the public, you know, there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. So. Let's see. Renee says, sorry about last week. Crash suffering from jet lag. Oh no, really? Yeah, I suppose. Hey, I've been there. I understand that. After I made my first comment or two, I turned over and was asleep for over 26 hours. Wow. Ah, that sounds so nice. I had to readjust my night into day and day back in the night from Philippines where I was born. That's awesome. Well, I hope you had a great trip to the Philippines. I know my brother speaks, he loves the Philippines. He's been there quite a bit. That's where my sister-in-law is from. SBC says, I'm glad you made it today. I need something to cheer me up. Oh, I am here. Although I will tell you, let me throw this out there. I might not be here next Tuesday. In fact, it's not looking good. I wanted to let you know. I'll let you know well in advance because I am working like crazy. Next week is the week of the haunt. So I have to be hitting that super hard. The odds are very slim that I will actually be on here next Tuesday night. So, but here's the good thing. After the first week of October is done, normalcy starts to kick in. Believe it or not. Even though the haunt's taking place in October, the hard part is building up to the haunt, to opening night, to showtime. After that, it's pretty easy. You're just going in and doing your thing at that point. It's everything up until the haunt opens that's the hard part. I mean, don't get me wrong, the stress and anxiety doesn't end there, but the majority of it does. Daniel says, I hope we get a couple or more people before everything starts. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Kevin says, hello, Brian. It's your old friend Kevin here. Hey, Kevin, how are you doing? Nice to see you here tonight. How are things across the pond? Yeah, how are things going over there? So, do tell, do tell. Hope things are well. Thanks for joining us tonight. Renee says, goat, tortoise, white horns, Brian Hogue. I saw Nun 2. It was killer. Oh, yeah? What else is out? Okay, Nun 2. Renee says she saw Nun 2, and it was killer. So that's cool. Very cool. What's the other one that's out? The one with the jester. What is that? I've been seeing the commercials for it. That's horrible that being a horror host, I don't know these things. It's not sticking because I have so much on my mind right now, but I'm not, and I'm not real super familiar with those movies, but it looked kind of entertaining. Raymond says, Brian, hey Raymond, thanks for joining us. Stephanie says, no problem, Brian. Good luck with the escape rooms and haunts. Thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, Zombie Outbreak. Now that escape room's all done. It's rip roaring ready to go. It's the haunted Jack Shadow's House of Terror. That's really that's the big weight over my head right now. Bonin says, Brian, I'm not here even when I'm here. Haven't you noticed after all these years of putting up with me? Yes, Bonehead. We just appreciate you here, whether you're here or not here. You're here. You're here-ish. Renee says, Brian Hogue, I'm going to see The Exorcist Thursday, October 5th. Ah, yes, I see that's coming out. Oh, boy. That's got the same lady who, I mean, that's a continuation of the original Exorcist movies. That's not like a reboot or something. That's actually, because it has the woman who played Linda Blair's mother on it. She's reprising her role as Regan's mother as the character in this current day story. So, but it's, I read that. PBR says, I lived in the Philippines for many years, was stationed in Cebu in the Navy. Cebu, am I saying that right? Cebu or Cebu? That's cool. Renee says, it's cool, Brian Hogue. Please make sure you scare all the Halloween trick-or-treaters and take all the time off you need to work the Halloween holidays. Thank you very much, Renee. I appreciate that. I still plan to be here on Tuesday nights in October. I will have to miss. No, oh, I just remembered something. Okay, now, here. Let me get out the calendar, shall I? I will not be doing a pre-show on October 3rd, Tuesday, October 3rd, that's next Tuesday, or Halloween night, because the escape room is open on Halloween night. So, but I will be here 10th, 17th. There's three out of 5 Tuesdays I will be here, which I gotta say is better than when I used to do the pre-show on Saturday nights. Because when I was doing haunted houses, I had to take the whole month off from the pre-show. So, SBC says, the bureaucrats have refused me a license. Very depressing. I will probably emigrate. I gotta see what your license got. What kind of license? What for? What happened? What happened? That's not good. It's always some red tape. Always red tape. Believe me, SBC. I totally. It gives me a headache. Everything that I do is gotta be, state sanctioned, state approved, registered here, registered there, and then it got all kinds of like restrictions and all this and that. I do emphasize with you. Stephanie says, I'm going to see The Haunting at Venice next week. Oh, I saw the commercial for that. Yeah, you have to let us know how that was. PBR says, what's this week's topic? Lay it on me. And you guys pick the topic and we'll make a show out of it. How's that sound? Sometimes I have a topic, but I think it's fun when you guys throw the topic out there. Victor says, what's up, Brian? Hey, Victor, thanks for joining us. Kevin says, Brian, I've been listening to a lot of old-time horror radio shows. They are great. You know of any? I have listened to some, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I tell you what, when I was back when audiobooks were coming out, and that was kind of a thing back in about the mid-90s, and I lived in Pittsburgh, I would get I remember one that I listened to several times in my apartment. I had the lights. I turned the lights down, and I just had I had a candle lit. Yeah, just one candle, because I remember my eyes adjusted pretty well. I had the candle lit in my apartment, the lights off, and I'd sit in my chair and I'd listen to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the novel, audio tape. And so I can only imagine, every once in a while I listen to a radio show, or I listen to part of one, Lone Ranger or a horror one, and I can't tell you which ones. I wish I knew off the top of my head which ones I've listened to, but I don't know. I don't do it often. I don't do it often enough to have one to be able to refer to you. But that's cool. I like sitting there, I just have a beverage choice for the evening. Like I say, a candle lit, just a single tea light, not much, just a little bit. And the sound of Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, an audiobook. It was pretty cool. I'm all about, even in the haunted house, setting the atmosphere. That's very important. Got to get the atmosphere just right. Raymond says, Bonehead is here in spirit. Yes, he is. Yeah, Bonehead. You're here, even when you're not here, you're here. So how's that? Here. SBC says, what topic do we have this week? Yeah, do we got a topic yet? All right. Holy cow! Oh my gosh! I am so behind. Wow, you guys are fantastic. Wow, there's so much interaction going on. How am I going to keep up with this? This is awesome. Bonus says, well, I'm happy because down here in Texas they start selling eggnog in the stores until the end of January, so I can pick out. Oh, cool. Really? That early, huh? Renee says, Halloween is the most important holiday to us horror, sci-fi, fantasy fans, so please make sure you put in all your time, energy, and efforts for your horror fans at the Great Mall to greet them live is most important. Yes, I know. Oh, they're going to get a good show. Jack Shadow will have nothing less. Renee says, Exorcist Believer is the new title. Oh, is that right? Okay. Raymond loves eggnog, he says. Bonehead says, God only knows where Bonehead is. He's not sick. He just isn't well, Here. Hey, I haven't even put up the schedule yet, have I, for this week? Let me do that. I guess we have a show we're on here to talk about. All right. So this Saturday, September 23rd. Look at that, a quarter after. I'm just now getting the schedule. But wow, we're getting so much interaction. That's fantastic. All right, folks, this Saturday at 8 p.m. you'll see the Chiller Night Live pre-show, and that, of course, is the program, the what we're doing right now. So, and then at 9 o'clock, the feature movie is Silent Night, Bloody Night, and at 10:50. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that was a Chiller Night theater hosted by Jack Shadow, and that was one of our live ones, if I remember that right. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that correctly. 10:50, the movie's The Undying Monster. That was also a live show. I hosted that one, I believe. 12:05, Scared to Death. I hosted that at Jack Shadow's request. And then at 1:35, the movie is Lady Frankenstein. So there you have it. There is our lineup for this Saturday night. September 23rd. Or that's not the 23rd. What is that? The 30th? I've been rushing a lot to keep up with things. Okay, it is the 30th. So I will. I can't correct it now. You'll just have to go with that. All right. PBR says, how about space horror for the topic if haven't done it already? Space horror. Some good movies, some good sci-fi movies that can also be considered horror would be, I mean, it's kind of branching off from your topic there, but The Thing, particularly the remake, The Thing, Kurt Russell. Well, we've played one on here called The Creeping Terror. That was a sci-fi horror. Yeah. Let's see. Raymond says, look at that great statue of Jack Shadow. Yes! Patty, I don't know if Patty's on here. She could be on here. I'm about 10 minutes behind on the comments. Let's see if she's in here. I don't see her. But, yeah, she made that custom-made Jack Shadow figure. I'm going to skip ahead, and I'm sorry if there's a particular topic or question or comment you wanted me to see. If you might want to repost it, I'm sorry. Sometimes you guys are chatting amongst yourselves there, and I'm just reading it to everybody because I don't know until I start reading it. SBC says they've already got Christmas decorations out at the hardware store. Christmas, stay in your lane, right? PBR says to Kevin, if you're still on here, Kevin, the Late Horror Channel has really old-time radio. Thank you, PBR. The Late Horror Channel has really old-time radio. Very cool. Thank you. Daniel says, growing up as a kid, I'd listen to the Monster Mash song every year in October. Yeah, that's a popular one. I still hear that. Let me jump ahead here. Sandy Jim Miller says, that's my Aunt Sandy. Hello, Brian. I wish your mom and I could be there to laugh so hard. We would pee ourselves again. Yeah, I do remember that. Oh, you enjoyed the haunted houses so much. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know she would love this one. I know she would. But, yeah, that was so fun. Renee says, awesome PBR Street Gang. Bonehead says, no, I'm actually over there and down here. What are you doing, Bonehead? SBC says, horror radio plays are perfect for a night ride on a train or even in a car on a foggy October night. Ah, that sounds cool. Now, Kevin says, here is some old-time horror radio shows. Lights Out, The Witch's Tale, The Hermit's Cave, Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Ah. Well, then I take it, Kevin, that you heard PBR's, where his, it's a YouTube channel called the Late Late Horror Channel. So that's cool. I'm trying to catch up on some of these. Wow, there's so many comments. That's outstanding, actually. Al says, hey, Brian, are you going to give us a preview of the haunted house? The only thing I can give you is show you and that's with all the lights on. That is not decorated yet, but that's just the front of my store until we have the lighting and the decorations up. That over there underneath the archway there is if you kind of see that gated doorway, that's the entrance. That's after you get your ticket, you're going to go in there, minus the extension cord laying there. That won't be there. And you can kind of see in the back. You can see there's the haunted house, that whole section there, and it goes all the way in the back, and it kind of is an L shape. So it kind of goes back and then is a different design in the back, different shape. And at the end of the counter, you'll see the Dead Walk. Well, that's the zombie outbreak escape room. And then over to the right of that, you can see what kind of looks like an old, like the shingles of an old cabin. That's the witching hour. And that will be right there. And then the third escape room will be behind all of that stuff whenever I get that up and running. So that's what that's all I can tell you. That's all I can give to you at this point. Other than Jack Shadow's room. I guess I don't have a picture on the queue here to show you. Let's see. I'm going to jump ahead because I'm very, very far behind. Did I see Tom? Let's see. I thought I saw a comment by Tom. Renee says, prayers and Godspeedy recovery to the brain operation dude. Yeah, that was Paul. I just talked to Paul today, and he seemed to be doing fine. I know those comments are appreciated very much. And he said he was going to join us tonight if he could, so hopefully Paul joins us tonight. SBC says, I haven't had any time to go to Oktoberfest this year. Have any of you ever been there? You know, I haven't. I've been to Germany a few times, but I've never been there during Oktoberfest. So I bet that would be. What's it like? Tell us what it's like. Like I said, I've not been there, but I can only imagine how interesting that is. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead here. Renee says, Brian Hogue is awesome live tonight. Oh, you can see why I read that one. Oh, thank you, Renee. Totally awesome live show, as Ed Sullivan always used to say. All right, thank you. Bonehead says, think Bonehead can use the word actually anymore tonight. Bonehead's picking on himself. That boy got a one-track mind that skips and repeats. Oh, don't be so hard on yourself. Raymond says, Classic Radio Channel 148 on Sirius XM has horror and sci-fi old-time radio programs, Raymond says. Classic Radio Channel 148 on Sirius XM has horror and sci-fi old-time radio programs. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you, Raymond. Renee says, I enjoy this live show right now. Brian, you make me happy with this live gig. I love for the live horror. Thank you. I live for the live horror. Thank you. Oh, you are very welcome. And thank you guys for joining me and each other on here. This this is the show. And every once in a while, we throw the schedule up there. Sometimes we do have a solid topic, and then sometimes we bounce around. But any way you look at it, it's always just a good time, and we get on here and talk about all things chiller, all things sci-fi, horror, paranormal. Like I say, you guys call the topic, and we'll make a show out of it. And I'm excited this time of the year. In fact, I'm going to do this before Renee says, "Holy cow, mutilations and decapitations, attention to detail in the escape rooms." And here, speaking of escape rooms, check this out.
Chiller Night Escape Experience presents Zombie Outbreak Escape Room. You and your team of scientists are sent to inspect a top-secret laboratory in a hidden military bunker. Sinister experiments have resulted in reanimating the dead. The facility is now swarming with the living dead, and you have 1 hour to escape or be overrun by zombies. Can you survive a zombie outbreak? Book your escape room appointment to find out. Book online at chillernight.com or call 814-209-8214. Gift certificates available at the store counter.
That, of course, is at the Chiller Night Escape Experience at the Cranberry Mall, located in Venango County, Pennsylvania. And that is where I have my escape room, my horror-themed escape room store. And that will be the same store, the same one I showed you a little bit ago. That's the entryway. You can see Jack Shadow's House of Terror, the banner up there, and all kinds of horror haunted stuff right there. So if you're in the area, stop on in and give it a look-see and come on in and say hi. Renee says, love it. Sheila says, hey everyone. Hey Sheila, thanks for joining us tonight. Bonin says, hello Miss Sheila and welcome to the Chiller Night crew. Renee says, so during Creature Features fan mail segment, a fan mentioned any letter that Vincent Van Dahl, am I reading that right? D-A-H-L, Dahl, read and said, y'all know Chiller Night Theater live with Jack Shadow, and Vincent says, we always get a lot, and then it stops. So you must still be typing the second part. That's cool. Yeah, you Renee let me know that earlier in the week, a couple days ago, about that. That's kind of cool that people are watching and talking about the show and mentioning it. Oh, lots of mentioning about Jack Shadow and Chiller Night Theater Live, but unfortunately they don't know that you, Brian Hogue, is the new Jack Shadow Chiller Night Theater Live now. Yeah, I'm not just the new Jack Shadow. I am the Jack Shadow from the very beginning. But no, that's cool. I do like hearing that. That's pretty neat. Yeah, whether they know my name or not is it's immaterial. At least they've heard of Chiller Night Theater and Jack Shadow, because those are kind of my. We'll put them out in the front. I'll just sit in the back seat and market them. Yeah, that's neat though. Thanks for sharing that. That's pretty cool. I had no idea that people were out there talking about it, so that's neat. Let's see. SBC says the Oktoberfest is traditional and modern at the same time. Good food and lots of fun rides. I'm sorry, folks. I know I'm yawning. I am so wore out. I've been running on fumes these last few weeks, and next week I'm going to be wrecked. But I'll be excited. I'll be working, so trying to get everything done in time. But SBC says, and lots of fun rides, but it gets more expensive every year. Oh boy, I bet so. I guess that's kind of with everything now, though, you know. Sheila says, hey Bonehead, thanks, been absent and absent-minded for weeks for Chiller Night. Yeah, it's good to have you back there, Sheila. Victor says, Jack Shadow is awesome. Miss that guy. Well, I'll tell you what. Thank you, Victor. Jack Shadow, he will be back in October. He'll do a special episode of Chiller Night Theater. Now, he did retire last October from doing it regularly, but as I've said, and Jack kind of left a hint that he'd be back from time to time, But then I just came right out and said it that he will be back and do special episodes, like around Halloween. You can pretty much figure he'll be back. Maybe reunion shows every once in a while, but he'll be back. Raymond says, Jack Shadow is Brian's alter ego. Yes. Bonin says, I saw that show, Miss Renee Cruz, and I was damn proud to know that they've heard of the legend Chili Billy Bill Cardell. Oh yeah, they definitely should be mentioning Chili Billy Cardell. Yes. Bonehead says, Brian, Vincent was talking about Chiller Theater. Not your show, but Chiller Theater with Chili Billy. Oh, I was going by what Renee was saying. She said, Brian Hogue, Jack Shadow, Chiller Night Theater. How am I misunderstanding that part? But no, that's fine. Let's see. Renee says, "No, wait a minute. Now it either nobody's going to mistake me for Chili Billy. So I mean, it's one or the other." Renee says, "I got to tell Vincent, Tangela, and Livingston in their chat section that you, Brian Hogue, is the Jack Shadow, and is the Chiller Night Theater live since the original died." Oh, were they talking about Chiller Theater though? Maybe they were talking about Chiller Theater. That is different though. Like Bonehead was saying. Different title. Sheila says, "Thanks, Brian." Oh, you're welcome. Renee says, "Yawning is no problem. Feels good to do it." Yeah, I normally hate to do that, but I can't squeeze any more out of the day than I already have. I'm spent, folks. But it says, Brian, if you watch the replay of September 23rd Creature Features during the mail segment, you'll see it. Okay. Al says, let's see. Brian, when doing the haunted house, will you be Jack on those nights you operate? Yes. Yes, whenever I do the haunted house, I'm always Jack Shadow. So it's quite a bit. You gotta be very theatrical every night. There is no tired. There is no pain. I had a broken rib playing Jack Shadow, and it was I had a ripped tendon in my leg. I was playing Jack Shadow. I had some very painful experiences playing Jack Shadow, but the show must go on. Here I'm just tired, but I've had broken bones of it. I have a broken toe trying to waddle around, broken rib, ripped tendon in my leg. Stephanie says, here in Ohio we had a horror host called the Cool Ghoul. It's a neat name. Pat Savan says, nice shirt. Brian, oh, there you are, Patty. Patty's one. Raymond mentioned the Jack Shadow figure earlier, so yes, Patty. We were wondering if you were going to be here tonight. Who very graciously, and very kindly custom made this Jack Shadow figure for me. So, Victor says Jack Shadow should be inducted into the Horror Host Hall of Fame. Janet Decay and Grim Gory just got inducted. Oh yeah? Sheila says first time became aware of Chili Billy was through the original Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, Bill Cardell. He was in it. He played himself as the news anchor. He worked for WIIC at that time, which is now WPXI in Pittsburgh. Patsy says, nice shirt, Brian. Oh, thank you. Renee says, yes, Bonehead, they mentioned Chili Billy, but I was stoned, so I must have gotten confused. Oh, thanks for clearing that up for Brian Hogue. Okay. All right. So that's what happened. All right. I was riding that high, too. a different kind of high than Renee, apparently. Renee says, yeah, the male segment. Bonin says, don't be depressed, Brian. We love you. Oh, thank you. Ah. Brad says, it's a Chill Night pre-show with the real Chiller Night Theater host, Brian Hogue, starring Brian Hogue. Now, here's Brian. Hey, Brad. Nice to see you here tonight. PPR says, a broken rib. Wow, that's dedication. Yeah. He's always breaking something. I played hard, folks. not near as much these days, but I was always doing something. Training or just always getting in some kind of mishap. Or on the job, getting hurt on the job. Let's see. Bonin says, and yes, Brian, I firmly believe that you will be fondly remembered for all the stuff you do for the horror host community. Ah, thank you. Thank you. You never know. You never know. It could rebound. Chiller Night Theater, Jack Shadow hosting again. I'm not going to. I don't see myself being the one to initiate it. But if I'll leave that door open. I'll put it that way. If I were to be approached by a sponsor, perhaps, who was interested in relaunching the show, I would keep that option open. Let's see. Pat Savan says, yes, escape to a work break, so I'm here. Ah, well, we're glad you did join us here tonight. Brad says, what's on tonight, Brian? Yes, and if you are watching this on Saturday night, here's what's on tonight. At 8 p.m., of course, is the Chiller Night Live pre-show, which is what you're watching. 9 o'clock, the feature movie of the night, of the week, is Silent Night, Bloody Night. Then at 10:50, the movie is The Undying Monster. And then at 12:05 a.m., the movie is Scared to Death. And at 1:35, the movie is Lady Frankenstein. For you night owls who want to start watching a movie at 1:35 in the morning, well, there you have it. You can watch Lady Frankenstein. So, and of course, put that back up there. You can watch that on Stream TV by visiting streammedia.tv. Streammedia.tv. This Saturday night, which apparently is not September 23rd. I was in a hurry when I put that on. It's September 30th. All right? We're not stepping back, folks. We're stepping forward into the future. Saturday, September 30th, not the 23rd. So, all right. So, Renee says, Brian Hogue, I will mention to Vincent about you, Jack Shadow, and Chili Billy. All right. I want them to know about you. If I'm going to mention it to them in their comment section after your show, and also on their Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday when they're on live. Okay, all right, cool. Thank you, Renee. I appreciate that. Stephanie says, we all love you, Brian. Sending hugs. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Right back at you. Renee says, wow, awesome movie lineup. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Thank you. But it says, Brian, you're doing great, and there aren't many horror host shows nowadays. There's a conversational topic horror host that you remember or have heard of. There's a conversational topic horror host that you remember or have heard of. What? like this type of show, a conversation show? If that's what you're asking, no, I'm not aware of one like this, like the pre-show. There might be. I just don't know of it. I did this to just promote Chiller Night Theater when it started on Stream TV back in October of 2017. There was nothing about it. No marketing, no articles in the paper, nothing. And I wanted that to go out and get heard, make a noise about it. So I just picked up my phone one day. I didn't have all this. I did this on my phone. I just started talking into it, before Chiller Night Theater came on at 9 o'clock on Saturday nights. I just got on the phone and started talking about it. And then that's how this evolved. Richard says, love the shirt. Ah, thank you, Richard. This was an old haunted house that I used to do. I was back actually, this is the one where I met Ava. The Dark Domain. I met Ava back in 2007. Thursday night. It was on Thursday night, October 4th, 2007. That's when we met. So she'd come to work in one of my haunted houses that year. So that was really cool. Obviously. So SBC says, a Christmas horror film, a little early, but at least it's a good one. Yeah, I was just talking a little earlier about some. It was mentioned that you saw, was it you or PBR Street Gang? Somebody had said that they saw the Christmas stuff out in the store. And here I am putting on a Christmas show. But it's horror. But it says, Brian, you were Jack Shadow and nobody else can ever lay claim to that character. Only you. So be proud of what you've done. Oh, I am. I appreciate that, Bonehead. Thank you. Yeah, I really, I did. And that's why, like this year we can see Jack Shadow's House of Terror, like right here. Like, I was going to make sure that it said Jack Shadow's House of Terror. Because I figured, this guy's been through quite a bit. You know what? He deserves his name at the top. So there. Richard says, Sammy Terry. Oh, is that the in response to Boneheads? Does he do I'm not sure if you're talking about whether he does like a conversational show as a horror host. I'm familiar with that name. Brad says, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, and King Kong coming to the public domain cannot come soon enough. How about you, Brian? Oh my gosh. That'll be quite something, won't it? If I'm sure Jack Shadow would dust off the old top hat, get the old gloves out for that one, for all those that you've mentioned. Patty says, Count Gore Duval has a Roku channel, and there is a documentary about him I saw on Netflix. Hey, speaking of Roku channel, wouldn't it be kind of cool? I mean, if Chiller Night Theater, if there was just a Chiller Night Roku channel. You never know. Maybe we'll see something like that. You never know. I think that would be pretty cool. Chiller Night Roku channel. I mean, still playing on Stream TV, of course, but wouldn't that be neat? I would love to have my own channel. Having, bring back Chiller Chat regularly. I can't do that when I'm building all this stuff, but at some point, all that stuff's going to be built, and then I can re-examine bringing this stuff back. But that would be neat to have a Chiller Night Roku channel. So, Bonus says, Brian, I meant we could have a horror host as a topic for a weekly discussion on the pre-show. Sorry, I confused people quite well, don't I? Hey, no, you might have typed that very correctly. I'm so exhausted that maybe I didn't read it right. Stephanie says, cool tea. Oh, thank you. I have one too. It's all green. It's like this color green, but it doesn't show up too well on the chroma key. See, kind of like you're looking through me. Let's see. PBR says Chiller Night has been going strong for a bit. Yeah, it was just up until last October when Jack retired. But the reruns are still going strong, and I'm sure people want to watch Jack Shadow if he comes back when he comes back in October to do an episode. I'll be honest, I haven't even looked to see what that's going to be. I haven't not one word of dialogue yet on that. I'm just too overwhelmed right now to even think about it. It might be Jack getting on and just talking his way through it, being impromptu, and that's not really quite, I don't really like that as much, but that might be the only way I can get him on here. I just have no time, unfortunately. I wish I did to prepare. Patty says, "How does Ava like the figurine?" She thought it was very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Everybody, I think, thinks this is really neat. Raymond says, was Count Gord Duval popular in the 70s? Yeah, who brought him up? That I couldn't tell you. I don't know. The only one I knew in the 70s was Chilly Billy. That's all I knew. Renee says, Chiller Night Theater Live, Jack Shadow, Chilly Billy, Chiller Diller, or Drive-In Theater, Wolfman, Max, Sinister Minister, Creepy, Coffee, Movie Time, Cinema Insomnia, Mr. Lobo, Son of Spanguli, Elvira. Wow, there's a lot of hosts. So, Sheila says, yes, Roku channel. I think that would be pretty cool. Richard says, what's your thought on the Halloween franchise after the original movie? Did you like them or not? Well, they got really, 1 and 2 were interesting. They were good. 3 was its own. I liked the idea of 3. I liked 3 overall. But man, they just got, why robots? Why the mechanical puppet, humanoids? That to me is just like, I would have liked it if they would have, the season of the witch. I would have liked it being more of the magical aspect of it only, without the mechanical people and the, But anyways, to answer your question, then when they came back with Michael Myers, 4 and 5. 4 was really kind of hokey. It was during that time era where movies just got to be that way. But then part 6, in the 90s, The Curse of Michael Myers, I really enjoyed that. And I thought that they were I really thought that they were heading in a neat direction at that point. And then the very next thing, oh my gosh, this is so annoying. I was just thinking about this. You brought something up that, I was just thinking about this like yesterday or the day before. Like H2O, what was it, 98, I would imagine. H2O, some marketing guy sat there and just patted himself on the back all day long. Look what I did, H2O. Look how clever I am. No, I'm Jamie Lee Curtis. And it had nothing to do with, part 6 was just, whatever they were going, derailed. So then everything after that was just, I just think it's pushing Jamie Lee Curtis. And I'm like, I don't care about Jamie Lee Curtis. She just happened to be the actress in the first movie that, that's my opinion of it. Some people really, really love that character. Like that, to me, it's just happened to be Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't know why they push that. She's pushed more than Michael Myers or Halloween anymore, I feel. And she's not interesting enough to me to want to see a movie just because she's in it. Up until that nonsense started, I enjoyed them. PBR says, Chiller Night Roku channel, let's make it happen. Yeah, that'd be cool if anybody knows how to do that. I'll just, let me know. Bona says Tom must be busy working this week. I do miss him though. I remember when Tom and Glam and me used to get into so much fun on these pre-shows. Yeah. Well, maybe they'll be. Maybe we'll get them back on Saturday nights. You never know. Renee says, and you're above them all in the forefront, Brian Hogue. Oh, bless you, Renee. That is so nice. So kind of you to say that. Thank you. With the horror host. Pat Savan says, I'd pay for that channel. Ah, that's cool. That's cool. Well, maybe it could be free, but we could give it, I don't know, like sponsors or, advertising. There are ways to make money off of that. So, I don't know. You never know. I've thought about that stuff for a long time because I always wanted Chiller Night Theater to be a live show since its very beginning. Like I'm talking about back in 2008 when it was Sleepy Hollow Theater. My idea for that was always to have it to be a live show. I never got, well, I can't say I never got there because starting in 2020, well, at the end of 2019, we actually did do that. We started doing the live shows. So, but I mean regularly. I thought that would be pretty old, like a weekly live show. Wouldn't that be cool? SBC says, I'm old. I don't even know what a Roku channel is. Brad says, after you're done with that and all the work at the Cranberry Mall, you should consider making your very own Chiller Night Roku channel. That'd be cool. I have to consult with somebody who knows what they're doing. That'd be neat, though. I'm just making all you guys yawn. See, I have an effect on you, whether good or bad. Let's see. Vampires in Plan 9 from Outer Space. Those were the best. Bonus says, good job, Miss Renee Crew, but don't forget Vampira. She was the first one ever. Yeah, what was it, 1954, I think? She started doing hers. Victor says, I want one of the figures of Jack Shadow. Those are cool, huh? Those are neat. Patty says, sorry, Vampira, not vampires. Oh, Vampira in Plan 9 from Outer Space. Okay. I thought you were talking like a kind of a stretch there, but Bela Lugosi is his character when he was resurrected, the old man, and he looked like Dracula. That's Victor says, the Monster Channel has many horror hosts. And it definitely has an audience. Brad says, Silver Shamrock, I still can't get that out of my head. Renee says, oh yeah, Vampirilla, she's fine ass, loved her bikini bat outfit. Renee says, dude, Brian, awesome live, thank you. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you. Sheila says, John Carpenter trying to kill the Halloween franchise with 3. I know what he was like. I know now. I know. Well, later I knew. Like his idea was, to do a different themed story that's Halloween related. That was going to be under the title Halloween. Just like Chiller Night, like this book here. You can buy that on Amazon. But Chiller Night was going to just the name. And having all these little horror stories, maybe an anthology stories or whatever the case may be, under Chiller Night. But that was going to be Chiller Night. Don't forget Chiller Night. But the Spirit of Halloween. It's a story about... No, let me get back on topic. But that was going to be a book series, not just one book. And still might be. I might get back to it. Yeah, a story about... Halloween-themed movies. But then what he shouldn't have done, he shouldn't have made part 2 still with Michael Myers, if that's what he was going to do. Because that's what threw everything off. They expected Michael Myers, just like Jason on the Friday the 13th franchise. After that got going, from it being his mom, Betsy Palmer. Pat Savan says, to quote Freddie to Jason, why aren't you dead yet? Renee says, we all love you, horror host Brian Hogue. You know that we love horror. Oh, yes. Man, what a great time of the year, too. You just go outside. You see it dark sooner. You feel that cool breeze. Oh, the leaves changing, depending on where you're at. But for me, it's just perfect. Ronan says, yes, Renee, she sure was a hot-looking mess back in her day by the Vampirilla. Let's see, 9 minutes to go, and now it's 4 minutes, so I'm that far behind. Okay, let me, Renee says Sleepy Hollow Theater. Yeah, that's what the original title was for up until 2015. And then it changed to Chiller Night Theater when I had Chilly Billy Cardell on it. So as a homage to Chilly Billy and to Chiller Theater, which was the inspiration for my show, that was the night we changed the title, switched it over to Chiller Night Theater. And Bill Cardell told me, he even said, Brian, you could have called it Chiller Theater or Son of Chiller. So that's really, really cool that he was so supportive. Richard says, what do you think the Jeepers Creature is? Jeepers Creatures. Example, man, bat, cannibal, bay. Just curious because I've never figured out what it is. I don't know. My first thought would be a demon, maybe. I mean, even though he's driving vehicles, I don't know how else to explain it. What else would that thing be? A gargoyle? A demon? I don't know. That's a good question, though. They never really said, did they? Bonus says, I know you can't do it, Brian, but I surely wish we could do a 2-hour pre-show sometime. I could do... Oh, we got 3 minutes left. I could do something like that eventually to where it's kind of a mix of a pre-show and maybe a little bit of a chiller chat mixed in with the pre-show. This could evolve. This right here could still evolve into something. You know, as long as there's a demand for it. And especially if we got, down the road, if I did get sponsorship for the other programming, man, you could have, there's all kinds of stuff. Let's see. Let me jump ahead here, and I'm sorry if I'm Hey, there's a little hello and a wave and a heart from my baby, L. Ava Hoagie. All right, baby. Let's see. I'm going to skip ahead because I am so far behind here. Okay, and I'm sorry about that. I've got a minute and a half left. They're calling me. Gotta go. Stay safe, Patty says. Okay, Patty. Same for you. Victor says, Jeeper Creeper was human. What? How did he look like that? Dale says, Cassandra, I miss you. Hope you're well. Yeah. Hey, Dale. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Cassandra's on here too. What the heck? When did you guys get here? Hi, Dale, she says. All right. So he was responding to Cassandra. Well, nice to have you guys here. Cassandra says, hi, Ava. SBC says, oh no, it's almost over again. I'll see you next week, the week after. Stay healthy and remember, it's not too early to decorate for Halloween. Yes, now remember, I probably will not do the show next Tuesday, but I plan to be back on the Tuesdays after that, okay? So just remember, if I'm not here next week, I'll post it. I will post it, but don't be expecting it, because it probably won't happen. Very, 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 very busy. But Ava's sending me some hearts. All right, back at you, baby. Stephanie says, take care, Brian. Bonus says, thank you, all the Chiller Night crew, for another great pre-show. Take care, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. All right. Renee says, take all the Halloween trick-or-treaters time you need at the Zombie Apocalypse Escape Room Mall. Oh, thank you. And it is 9 o'clock, so, hey, folks, thank you for joining me and each other again tonight. So have a good night. Have a good chiller night. And we'll see you in probably 2 weeks. All right. Take care.